WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. At this hour, Columbus and Lowndes County leaders, along with officials from emergency management and relief organizations, are meeting with residents who've been affected by the tornado and recent flooding in Lowndes County. Our Quentin Smith is at the Columbus Municipal Complex. He joins us live with the latest on what's happening. Quentin.
Andre, I'm here outside the Municipal Complex where tonight's meeting is just getting underway. Now, it's been just over 2 weeks since Mother Nature wreaked havoc on this area. And tonight, city and county leaders will address those who were impacted by the tornado and the flooding. Now, alongside the city and county leaders, residents will also hear from volunteer groups and MEMA about what all resources are available to them and just other things they can do to continue moving forward from the tornado and the floods. And there will also be a Q&A session tonight where residents can address those on hand about any issues and concerns that they may have. Now, so far, it's been a steady flow of people pouring inside the complex for tonight's meeting. I'm going to head on back inside, and we'll have much more from this meeting coming up tonight on WCBI News at 9 and 10. But for now, reporting live in Columbus, Quentin Smith, WCBI News.
All right, Quentin, thanks so much. First responders and volunteer agencies got a progress report in Columbus this morning. City leaders will soon accept bids on debris removal. Meanwhile, the United Way of Lowndes County says volunteers are still needed, but rain in the forecast has slowed down some efforts across the city. Red Cross officials are handling 70 cases from the tornado. Those people suffered major damage. Some of them, their homes were destroyed. The Salvation Army and Red Cross are no longer serving meals on site. Victims can now go to the Salvation Army for help long term. Also, housing options are being discussed by several agencies. Well, today was the last day for Columbus storm victims to sit down with American Red Cross caseworkers. The organization has been set up on the lower level of the Trotter Convention Center. Red Cross took applications and met one-on-one today and over the weekend with people who were impacted. Workers say assistance from the Red Cross is separate from any other assistance or benefits that people may get from other agencies. If you were not able to meet with caseworkers over the weekend or today, you can call the Red Cross. The number is 1-800-RED-CROSS to get more help. Well, several businesses find themselves starting over after the tornado swept through Columbus. The owners of BJ's Dog Grooming feared for the safety of their guests and the future of their business when they saw their building that night. Now, slowly but surely, things are getting back to normal. Our Jory Talley joins us in the studio with more on that. Jory.
What could have been the worst thing imaginable for the owners of BJ's Dog Grooming turned out much better than expected. All the pets being boarded in their kennels were safe, even though the building itself was demolished. After a couple of days in a temporary location, BJ's has a new permanent home and is back in business.
We knew we had to get in there. First of all, we thought Caleb was in there, our employee. And then getting in there, just making sure everybody was okay. That was the main thing.
But finding a way to get in here wasn't easy. The owners of BJ's Dog Grooming were expecting the worst once they realized where the February 23rd twister was headed.
We were watching the news and we saw it go right past the Gardner Boulevard and right where our business is. So we took off in town after we saw it go through. I tried calling our phone at the store. I knew if it didn't ring, then something was wrong. Then I tried pulling up our cameras, and if our cameras didn't pull up, something else was wrong.
This is what the owners pulled up to after the tornado blew through. 9 dogs, 2 cats, and a turtle all sat inside while everything around them came tearing and falling down. This room seems to be the only one spared by the tornado. It just so happens to be the room where the dogs were.
It was just amazing. Everybody was untouched. The front lobby where the turtle was, the whole front lobby was gone except the corner where the turtle was. The roof was still over it, everything was untouched.
Since the front of the store was no longer standing, the Cougars had to go through the side door to get to the shaken up pets. Pets that some owners thought they would never see again.
Even a couple of them didn't even think that they were alive. And then when we told them that they were okay, they were very, very shocked.
Once inside the shredded building, the rescue started.
I started letting dogs out and people started running to the door and grabbing them and started moving them to the other building across the street that people opened up the door to house our dogs until we could find a better location.
That better location came less than 5 days later when the Cougars bought this building to be the new BJ's Dog Grooming.
We're adding suites, about 17 suites. We're adding some more bedrooms, or 8x8 bedrooms. They're going to have TVs in each room, so the dogs can feel more at home. They'll feel a little bit better, a little bit safer.
After the pets are rescued and relocated across the street, Best Friends Animal Hospital offered to examine and house the dogs until their owners could pick them up. BJ's Dog Grooming is now located at 81 Willcutt Block Road, just past Lion Hills Golf Course.
All right, nice to see them getting things back together. Time for a first look at our forecast. We'll turn things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. Our first Monday after daylight saving. I'm liking it.
Yeah, look at all this daylight we still have right now, right? You can go home in the daylight. Temperatures right now across our region are in the 60s. We've shifted some of that daylight now into the evening. Hopefully you can take advantage now, but low 60s out there, not too bad of a day after that gloomy and chilly start. We had 40s and 50s this morning. We pushed the rain down to the south, but still some clouds out there. So variably cloudy here this evening and tonight, but no rain. We're in the 50s after sunset, 40s for lows tonight. Your Tuesday, upper 60s to around 70. More clouds and sunshine at times, maybe a stray shower. Rain chances pretty low though. Another system's coming our way, more rain, more storms, but also some quiet weather in that 7-day. We'll show you that in just a few minutes.
A Columbus man is arrested after investigators say he was holding a woman against her will. 35-year-old Charlie Owens is charged with aggravated domestic violence and kidnapping. Early Sunday morning, Lowndes County deputies responded to an assault call at Applewood Apartments on William Roberts Road. When deputies got there, they say they found a woman who said she had been assaulted and held against her will. Owens was identified as the suspect and taken into custody. An Amory man is facing an aggravated domestic assault charge. Police say the incident happened on Winchester Drive in Amory Saturday. The victim in the case was taken to the hospital. 30-year-old Joshua Williams was arrested. He's out of jail on a $10,000 bond. The victim was treated and released. The incident remains under investigation. An Alabama man is accused of injuring a Lowndes County deputy. David Cassidy of Etholesville is charged with attempted burglary of an occupied dwelling and simple assault on a law enforcement officer. Friday morning, deputies were called to the 600 block of Mac Davis Road after getting several calls of a suspicious person. One resident says Cassidy tried to break into their home by kicking in the front door. Deputies arrested Cassidy on scene. During the arrest, a deputy was cut on the hand while getting the suspect into the patrol car. The deputy did have to get stitches but has since been released from the hospital.
As you return to your duties, may you do so in safety and peace. In remembrance of Prentice 7.
First responders across Prentice County taking a moment this morning to remember Deputy Michael Highsaw, who was killed 20 years ago answering a domestic violence call. Highsaw had served on the Sheriff's Department for nearly 4 years after a stint with the Boonville Police Department. Highsaw's parents were at the memorial service along with several officers, including Sheriff Randy Tolar, who worked with the deputy.
Just remember the service that he gave and all the service that the officers are giving as they respond to any of these calls. Pray for their safe journey.
Every year on the anniversary of Deputy Highsaw's death, a magnolia tree is planted in front of the Prentice County Justice Complex. Well, since Deputy Highsaw's murder, hundreds of law enforcement officers have been killed in the line of duty. Our Allie Martin talked with two longtime officers who say things are a lot different, in some cases more dangerous compared to when they started their careers.
As Constable Sammy Henderson prayed during the annual memorial for Deputy Highsaw, he remembered those serving today.
Lord, as times get more dangerous, I just ask your hands of safety and protection, Lord, upon each and every officer that's here, Lord.
Constable Henderson says there have been many changes during his 20-plus years in law enforcement, such as an increasing tendency for many in the public to question and challenge authority. Constable Henderson says there are proper ways for people who feel they've been treated unfairly by police to get their side of the story heard, but he says it's never during a lawful traffic stop.
Just like getting a speeding ticket on the side of the road. If you want to argue the point, come to court, not on the side of the road, and, you know, violence is not the answer. Come to court and settle it in court.
Prentiss County Sheriff Randy Tolar believes the popularity of social media, where anybody can post anything, coupled with what he and others see as a departure from traditional values taught in the home, makes it tougher for officers on the streets.
The atmosphere out there with my deputies, and I caution them all the time about being careful and don't let your guard down. And it's just a time that children are not taught to respect authority and respect others. And it's a situation where it makes our job incredibly more difficult and dangerous at the same time.
Sheriff Tolar says the widespread use by law enforcement of body cameras has been useful to prove who is right when citizens claim they are being mistreated. In Prentiss County, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
So far this year, 23 law enforcement officers have died in the line of duty in the United States. Well, what was once old is new again. We check out a Monroe County restaurant making a comeback when we come back. Welcome back. A well-known Aberdeen diner is making a comeback after being closed for the past 5 years. Fountain Grill reopened this morning with the same menu and staff that worked there 10 years ago. Customers piled in the tables and booths waiting to order their local favorites. Stephanie Poole, our reporter, says there were about 40 people there while she was there today. The new owner, Jake Doty, says his mother bought the building when he was 4 years old and he wants to see the tradition continue.
I've had the opportunity to go back into just a landmark of Aberdeen, business that's been here for years, just a monument for people that are out of town now and come home, and something Aberdeen really needed.
The Fountain Grill is open Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Out ahead of that next system coming our way, the winds will pick up on Wednesday, another one of those hold on to your hat types of days. We are looking at winds that could gust over 30 miles per hour. Your full forecast is next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Some of that sunshine here across our area right now mixed in with some of those high clouds. Temperatures are still in the 60s. And how about that daylight after 6 o'clock? We've shifted some of that time around. Our next system out here across the Pacific Ocean, there's California. Look at these swirls right there. Upper level energy that will give rise to our last but next big system. This will be the last in the series of these systems. Wednesday evening through Thursday, some heavy rain, maybe a half inch or 2 inches or more, and a few strong to severe storms not out of the realm of possibilities too. So this will be a whopper of a system. Rain and storms for us, a blizzard out there across the northern plains as it really gets on going. And we can already start to see the influence of some of that energy, showers and thunder showers down there in the desert southwest. And we have this arc of clouds. Look at this arc of clouds that goes all the way from California. And some of those clouds are already now advancing into our area. So those high, thin cirrus clouds we have now, that's indirectly related to the energy that will get going and give us the storms on Wednesday night. Crazy, I know. It's a big system. We've got temperatures tonight cooling down into the 40s. And for tomorrow, your Tuesday, we're looking at some 40s at sunrise, and then we're back into the 60s by noon, upper 60s to around 70 during the course of the day. Winds from the east and southeast at about 5 to 10. Not too bad of a day for us. Probably more clouds than sun overall, but can't rule out a stray shower. Most, if not all of us, will remain dry. and we want to see that. So Futurecast is picking up on the system. Chance for a little bit of rain and storminess with that on Thursday. Again, there will be a severe weather chance Wednesday night into our Thursday. Behind it, though, we're looking at some nice weather that will clear things off back to the west. So things will be improving as we go through time. The lead up, though, will give us some wind and some warmer temperatures for Wednesday. Most of the day, though, should be dry. After sunset, the rain and storms come on in. We'll have a chance for some rain and storms there on Thursday with that frontal boundary. So as long as that's around, we'll be in the 70s. It kicks out. We will see the sun come on in. Cooler, but sunny. This weekend's looking great. I think Sunday's supposed to be 59, not 69. I'm going to have to go back into the 7-day and change that. But pretty nice weather for this weekend. A nice string of days coming our way.
The Mississippi State women finally returned to Starkville as the SEC champions. The full recap of the win is coming up next in sports.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Finally is the word Vic Schaefer used as a shower of blue and yellow confetti fell around him as he held the SEC championship trophy. And the word finally was rightfully used because after 4 straight trips to the SEC title game, the Mississippi State women finally left victorious and as SEC champions. WCBI Sports' Tom Ebel reports from South Carolina with more.
Vic Schaefer's dream came true. At the sound of the final buzzer Sunday, it was his Mississippi State Bulldogs team that was showered in the confetti. The first time in program history, MSU named SEC Women's Basketball Tournament champions. The Bulldogs capping off a dominant week in Greenville with its best performance saved for last, cruising past Arkansas 101-70.
We played hard today. We played with poise and we played together, and we came out with the victory, and that's what we get.
We get to stay out in the confetti, you know, play around, take pictures, you know, to celebrate that moment. And the other time we were going to the locker room, you know, trying to figure out what we could have done or what we didn't do. So, I mean, it was just a good feeling being out there on the court with the confetti falling.
It's about them. It's about those kids. Nobody knows how hard our kids work except me, my staff, and to see the fruits of their labor come to fruition. It just, as a coach, it's why you do what you do.
The Bulldogs were explosive from the jump, shooting a blistering 63% from the field and 67% from 3, draining 12 of 18. Tiara McCowan and Jasmine Holmes starred, but big supporting performances from Bree Amber Scott and Andra Espinoza-Hunter showed how good this team can be when clicking on all cylinders.
It is a different team, but that doesn't mean we're not as good or better. I think that it's still out there whether we can be better. And that's what I've said all year, is that's my challenge. Is I think the upside for this team is still off the chart.
Now the SEC champions' attention will turn to the NCAA tournament, the next part of this story that includes unfinished business. It remains to be seen if the Bulldogs will receive a top 4 seeding or where in the country they'll be placed. But for Schaefer, none of that matters.
We'll go wherever they send us. I'm not trading my team for anybody else's. I'm taking this group and we'll go play. And I don't care who it is or where. I could care less. I think these kids feel the same way.
We can do anything we put our minds to. This team is different than last year's team and the teams before. I just feel like if we play together and execute the game plan and do what he says, I mean, he's done it before. And today we proved that we can do anything we put our minds to.
The Bulldogs will have to wait until March 18th to plan its course back to the Final Four. But until then, Hail State Hoops can enjoy yet another program first. Another one off the checklist. Reporting in Greenville, South Carolina, Tom Ebel, WCBI Sports.
The Bulldogs moving up in the national polls to be the 4th-ranked team in the country and projected as the #1 seed right now in the NCAA tournament. The Bulldogs will also be hosting a selection day where fans can come and watch that at the Hump coming up next Monday. That's it for sports. Your last is coming up after the break. Stick with us.
WCBI sports coverage of the SEC basketball tournament is brought to you by Wade Incorporated. Bank First, a better way to bank. And visit Columbus, the city that has it all.
little bit warmer tomorrow. Warmer yet Wednesday and Thursday. The trade-off there, again, Andrea, some storms, probably after sunset Wednesday through Thursday. But that's the last hiccup here. So get ready starting
Look at
Friday.
that weekend.
We're not going to have any weather woes this weekend. None.
I am looking forward to that.
Yes. All of us
Yes,
will be
we
looking
are.
forward to that.
You had a busy weekend. Your
It's
team
just been a
did,
busy
again.
stretch of weeks here, so we need this.
All right, that's the news at 6. Enjoy the rest of your Monday evening.